Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
No
For
problem.
our viewers who are seeing you for the first time, would you like to share a quick background of what you do and who you are?
Sure. So my name is Cassidy La Crème. I wear a million hats, so I do a lot of different things, but I'm mostly a recording artist and I would say a content creator. I sing in multiple languages, mostly in Malay, but a few others as well. And yeah, I'm mostly known for YouTube and live performances, but I do a bit of everything everywhere.
I like that about you, that you do a lot of things. You don't have to
Thank
stick to
you.
just one thing, right?
Exactly. Who needs sleep?
That's ironic thinking that I slept at 2 last night.
Okay, I slept at 5 last night. I was filming till 4:30 this morning, but
Oh
we got to do
my
what we got to
god.
do.
Okay, so you win. 5 o'clock. Talking about filming and working overtime and such, let's just dive into the questions. Today, I want to talk
Okay,
about finding your style and discovering your true self or your true style. So, the
great.
first question is, how do we manage, especially as an artist, how do you or how do we artists, how do you manage people's expectations, your manager, your producer, your clients? How do you manage their expectations at the same time being true to yourself in the type of jobs that you want to do or in types of content you want to create?
Well, that's a very good question. I definitely feel like this is relevant to me because I've only really just learned the answer. It's taken me many years. Um, I think in order to be able to manage people's expectations, you have to know yourself and be honest with yourself of your strengths and also your weaknesses. So for me, I was always trying to please everyone else and give them their expectations instead of outlining what my own were because I didn't know what my own were. I just knew that I wanted to please people, I wanted to work hard, and I thought that that's how success would come. But then you don't know yourself. So you're sending people mixed messages of who you are as a brand. You're not fulfilling yourself in any way. You're not actually happy. Um, both physically and mentally, I think. So for me, I think that the best way to manage people's expectations is one, get to know yourself. Two, figure out what your non-negotiables are. Where won't you bend? Because people who are like me, that naturally you've got like you think you're an imposter, and you've got a bit of imposter syndrome. You're trying to
Mhm.
please everyone. You're trying to be well mannered. It doesn't actually do you any favors in the long run, because if people don't know where your boundaries are, they'll continue to try and push them. And if they don't know what your end goals are, it's just going to turn out messy in the future. So it will save you a lot of heartache to figure out exactly where your lines are and to communicate them. And that way you are managing people's expectations because they know what the expectations are. People can't understand your struggles or also your goals if you don't communicate them. So I think communication is key.
Yes, and what you mentioned just now, figure out what you want by determining what you don't want or what you don't like. That's also one way, right? So
Yes.
if someone is thinking, oh, but I don't know what I like, or I don't know what my style, or how much I want to do, or what type of media, what type of content I want to create, they could always just
Yeah.
try, right? Like doing it once, and
Yeah.
after doing something once, then you could get a feel of, okay, I like this, or I don't, or I want to continue not. In that way, they could list out the things that they don't want or they don't like, and then
Exactly.
they could draw the boundary or the box of what they are comfortable in.
Yes, 100%. That's so important to develop that understanding of what you like to make. Because when you're making content for other people and you're making or work or whatever you're doing, if it's for someone else's passion or just purely from the, I guess, what would you call it? The validation. So if it's for the validation of other people, it's never going to fulfill you. And that's what I found, is that I was creating content, but I didn't exactly know why I was creating it. It would get a great response, but I wasn't actually fulfilled by it or anything like that. So it's really important, I guess, to get clear, because if you want to do something long term, you have to be passionate about it.
And when you say it's taking you years to discover this, how many years has it been?
I'm 32 now, so 32.
What, 22? All right.
Yes, I like that. 22 and a small bit. But really, I think that's the thing is I think I don't hold my age against myself because it's taken me this long to figure out who I am.
Yes.
Some people know from day one who they are, but I really didn't know.
Yep.
I've sort of always had an idea of who I want to be and who I am.
Yep.
And then I lost that for a while because I was trying to create content for, I was trying to create content for other people.
Yep.
And I was trying to do what everyone else wanted. So I lost who I was for a
Yep.
while. But it's taken me this journey of completely losing myself to finally come back full circle now and know exactly who I am and what I'm working towards and what I want.
I think that's an important point, not holding your age against you. It's something that I also faced before, which is so funny. I remember not so long, a couple of years ago, when I was, hustling in my career, trying to climb the corporate ladder. At the time, I thought I was too young. It was so weird. I felt like, oh, I'm too young, not experienced enough. I can't do this. And suddenly I'm reaching 30 and you're not so young anymore.
Yeah,
And actually, you don't, your age doesn't decide anything. It's really just your experience, because you would go through different phases and different transitions. And it's really what you make do out of the lessons that you go throughout your life.
absolutely. That's so true. And I think you can't learn that until you actually, you know, when you watch things online and people go, oh, when you're older, you'll understand. And you're like, no, I get it now. But you're just young and you think you know everything. And then as you get a little bit older, you start realizing truly that, oh, there are some things we just can't learn until we go through them. Because we need to go through our ups and downs and our learning as we get slightly older that are going to give us the foundation of things we need to be successful in our careers. Whereas when you're young, you want it now, but you might not be able to handle the success when you get it when you're young because you haven't got the life experience. So I love getting older because I'm like, I'm more comfortable in my skin, my mind, everything. It's great, right?
That's great. And talking about your style, you develop your style so well now. It's really clear. Brands know what they get when they want to work with you. You know what to convey. How do artists determine their style of the type of music they want to make, or the type of look and feel? How do they
Mm.
decide or discover it?
Right. Well, thank you for the compliment. Um, this one for me is I'm so deeply passionate about now because I've finally found my sound. Um, and I think it's safe to say that you already know it deep down, and anything that's leading you away from it is external factors and you trying to be something that you're not for other people because it's what you're meant to be. So can you imagine, like I moved to another country. I happened to become famous singing in another language. So of course you have a lot of viral videos, you move to that country. And then for me, I was signed to record labels and they were like, you have to dress like this, you have to act like this, you have to do this. And everything that came naturally to me, which was being outgoing and a jokester, dressing pinup, wearing like vintage makeup, every single thing of this, I was told I wasn't allowed to do anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't allowed, I had to be very poised and quiet, don't laugh too loud. That was the biggest one for me. I was making a joke with an audience
All
once,
right.
and my record label said to me, you laugh too much. Your laugh is too big. I think people don't like it, so you have to control your laughter. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I've got the craziest laugh. That's one of the things about me. You know, I am a big personality. And it was everything I was being told to like pull it back, wear less makeup or no makeup. That's what everyone's doing now. And it
It's a
really
trend.
messes with, exactly, it really messes with your mind because you can't express yourself. So I think before I moved to Malaysia, I was making my own videos for myself. It was just me, and I am very interested in my work. So I would make costumes, I would design the look of the video, everything. And I would actually create my videos. And I was doing what came naturally to me.
Yeah.
And people loved it, and it would go viral, and the audience would respond well. As soon as I moved and I became under a label, suddenly there was less interest in what I was doing. I think because the crowd can sense, people can sense when it's not genuine. So now I've like come full circle again. I'm creating everything on my own with one person helping me with the music side. And everyone's like, she's back. And it's what came natural in the first place. It's the pinup makeup. It's everything that I've loved since I was a child. So you have to notice, what are the things that make you physically and emotionally excited? For me, it's like when I walk into a vintage shop, I cannot explain the feeling. It is like I want to hyperventilate. I'm so excited and I want to jump out of my skin. So when I see retro stuff, that's the reaction I have. So naturally, that's what I want to create. And I think that's what people are missing in business. It's not what is the trend now. It's not what is cool, what's selling, blah, blah, blah. It is what makes me excited. So if you don't like working out, but it's trendy to start a health business, that doesn't make sense, does it? You know?
Why am I laughing? Because I could imagine all these people who's becoming a health influencer. Yeah, health celebrity, but then they're not even into fitness. So why you do this?
Exactly. There's so many people that are like, oh, okay, it's cool to promote weight loss products. So I'm going to promote weight loss products, but they're not even on a weight loss journey and they don't realize what they're pushing. You
Yeah,
know, it's like, oh, okay, this week, this product's popular. So that's what I'm going to represent. So I think you have to maintain integrity, because I won't. If people contact me and say, oh, if I send you this, will you put it on your Instagram? I'm like, no, because now I know that I'm not passionate about it, so I'd rather not make money doing it. So it's hard to I guess narrow it down to a very easy tip, but simply look back at what excites you.
yes.
Simple.
I'm reminded of a few different points on based of what you shared just now, which is I remember reading about, no, I watched an interview from this author. She was sharing about how we actually know ourselves. We actually start changing or starting to condition ourselves at the age of 10. At the age of
Oh,
10 is when we start to be conscious of society expectations or how people want us to be. And then we would live through our life based on what we feel we should be, like what you mentioned.
yeah.
And and if you want to think about it, if you can recall from when you were 10 or younger, then you would remember who you are, or the type of person you are. For example, you said you always had a big laugh, you always like to make jokes, which comes to my second point, because you shared a lot of things just now. um, Good stuff, because I want to point it out, because I want people to get the most out of this interview, about you laughing and making jokes, and people, and some people saying, oh, you're being too much. But actually, it's laughter. It's something
Yeah.
something fun. It's something good. It's something that's doing no harm to anyone. So it should be fine. That's something
Yeah.
that I realized. You want to take people's advice, and of course you should listen to people, but then if they're asking you to do something that is totally opposite of what you want, which is causing no harm. Basically, if you're doing something out of kindness, causing
Mm.
no harm to you or the other person, you know, then it should be fine. You get me? Because, for
Absolutely.
example, some people, they want to say, oh, I should dress, I want to dress however I want. And I'm like, yeah, 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 of course. But then you also have to respect the dress code. For example, if you're going to someone's wedding, you better look nice. Don't go in your swimsuit. Then that would be wrong.
Yeah.
Then don't say, this is my right, I should dress however I want. No, not that way. You get me?
Yeah.
So when someone said, oh, when you're emceeing, or oh, you're laughing too much. But is laughing is laughter or jokes a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing. So why
Yeah.
should you stop? But then I guess it's about labels and, conforming to a certain look or trend.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that labels, at the end of the day, when you're working as an artist with a label, they don't know you better than you know yourself. And you have to be brave enough to stand your ground and realize they signed you because you have something special about you that they don't know yet. So they need to learn how to maximize on who you are. But it is sad. A lot of artists out there are not themselves. They're nothing like, behind closed doors, they're nothing like you see in front of the camera. And it's really sad that they have to put on a persona because that's what they've been taught. That's the only way that anyone will like you. But that doesn't make you happy. I would rather have 1,000 followers that love me, think I'm absolutely ridiculous, than 100,000 that just follow you because of the persona you're putting out, but they wouldn't like you if you were yourself. So for me, I can sleep at night because I'm, able to be silly. I'm ridiculous and I'm unapologetic about it now. So it's all we can do is just, you can adjust, like you were saying, how going to a wedding in a swimsuit kind of thing. It's like there's rebellion in a bad way. And then you can always toe the line. And I find that too. It's like, okay, well, if I go to a Malay event, of course I understand I have to wear, and I want to wear a baju kurung. I want to get involved. I want to be respectful. I want to cover up. But how can I do it and incorporate the vintage style? Simple. So find budgies from Saloma, all those kinds of things. There's always a way.
Yep, there's always a way. Yeah,
Hmm.
you share so much. There was something also, a point that you mentioned. I forgot what it is. Let me think. What was it? What was it?
I did talk a lot. I'm sorry.
I know you talk a lot, but it's a lot of good points. That's why. Oh yes, this is what I wanted to ask. Um, when you became more clear of your style and you started to set your boundaries, right, and you knew and you could list out your characteristics, like you mentioned, retro, vintage. The projects that came to you, were they better? Were they more in line with what you wanted because you were more clear? Whereas before this, I mean, before you determined your style, was it when jobs came your way, offers or collaborations, is a mixed match of everything and you're sort of lost? Is it in terms of what you put out and then what you get?
Mm.
Is it better after you've defined your style?
It's definitely more specific, and it will come along with being able to say no to things. Whereas before, when I would get offered any project, I would be like, yes, yes, I just want to do everything. Sure, I'll do everything. But it wasn't until I started saying no to things, like people would come and ask for a collaboration, and I would say, well, this is the path I'm on now. Can we do something that is in alignment with that style? If it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work, then you just say, thanks, this is not for me. Whereas before, I would just take anything that I could get. So since I've done that, I guess some relationships, you have to allow some relationships will stop in a business sense, because you're not being a people pleaser and you're not being able to be, I guess, manipulated in any way that people wish for you to be. And then the other benefit is that you get things that are in more alignment. And I find that the more I've lent into what I consider my true self, the bigger the opportunities have been and the more grand. Because instead of trying to fit in to the girl next door kind of look for me, and the typical blending sound, I was kind of just doing what everyone else was doing. And when I started going, no, I know what I want to do, this is the quality level that I want to offer, and I don't care if it's not the norm, we're going to do it. It straight away led me to huge opportunities, big opportunities, high, I guess you would say, high end opportunities, as opposed to just the typical weekend events, blah, blah, blah. It was like huge brands were calling, celebrities were calling. It really starts to develop, but it takes time. That's the thing. People get impatient. They do
Yeah.
one post And they go, oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. No one liked it. And it was like, it was one post.
That's worse. I wanted to share example of my friend, but I think it was a couple of months also. She was starting something, and I really believe in her products. She's an artist. She draws and she paints, and I really believe that she's gonna make it. And then sometimes she goes like, "Oh, why am I not? Why isn't I getting this?" And I'm like, "How long have you been posting on your Instagram?" Oh, couple of months. It's only been 3 months. Can you just chill? Can
Exactly.
you wait for like 3 years? But then
Exactly.
we all do that where we not a bit we're a lot impatient because now everything is
Mm.
moving very fast and you could see results fast also.
Yes.
Engagement, you could see it at the moment. That's why people tend to forget that
Yes.
everything good actually takes time.
It does. It takes time. And if it comes easy, it doesn't last. And definitely we live in a world where it is everything is instant gratification. Everything is now. I want the results like now, not even in 24 hours. I want them now. That's what we're used to getting. And no one sticks with anything. And I'm so that person too. I've done that a million times in my career. Been like, oh, I'm trying this now. I'm trying this now. I'm trying this now. People are like, oh, what about that project? Did I do that? Oh, yeah, I did that, didn't I? It's about finding something, I guess, then that you're passionate enough about to be consistent and to also analyze what is working and what's not. So yes, we're definitely we're spoiled for choice, but we need to relearn the art of patience.
Yes. Reload the art of patience and also focus, right? I get so
Yes,
distracted over 10 million things I want to do.
me too, 100%.
Right? Can you just finish that project first?
I
That's
don't know what finishing a project means.
okay. I hope
But
I'm
that's how it is.
finding
Life gets in the way.
yes, I know. Okay. Thanks for the interview. Let's play a short game. Have you ever heard of the
Okay.
5 second rule?
Oh my gosh, yes, I have.
Okay.
Oh my lord,
Taking up
this brain of
my
mine
notebook.
doesn't work that quickly.
Okay. When I edit this, then I'm gonna put the timer, but for now I'm just gonna use my phone timer
No
because I'm
problem.
very
How
high
cool.
tech.
Okay. Awesome.
How would you hear this? Okay. So 5 seconds, I'll ask you
Okay.
to name something. So I'll ask you a question. Then in 5 seconds, you
Okay.
do it.
I'll try.
So I'll start the timer only after I ask the question. Okay. Number one.
Okay.
Name 3 fruits starting with the letter A.
Apple, apricot.
Done.
Oh,
It's five
no.
seconds.
No. What else starts with A?
Cassidy, seriously, when I played this by myself, I thought of apple and apricots. Is avocado a fruit or is it a vegetable?
Avocado. I think it's technically a fruit, right? Oh,
I
all
probably
right.
shouldn't post that me asking whether it's a fruit or a vegetable.
Can be our secret. It's okay. Most people don't know.
Okay, next question. Name 3 parts of your body that you love.
Eyes, lips, hips.
Yes, you got it in 5 seconds. That was a
Yes.
self-appreciation moment. Okay.
Like that.
All right. Name 3 things you put on your face.
Makeup, moisturizer, and mascara. Oh, that's
All
makeup
right.
also.
Yeah, I know. You should have just said mascara, lipstick, and blusher.
Ah, I was getting confident.
Do you like makeup?
I love makeup. Definitely love makeup. I like using my face as a canvas and like changing the way I look. I find it fun.
Yep. I also like to follow what I like music. I love music. So
Mm.
sometimes what the band would wear, then I
Yeah.
wear too. I remember when it was when I was 13 or 14, it was during the emo rock, emo goth era, and everyone was wearing
Mm-hmm.
black eyeliner. Of course, I got into it as well. Even boys were wearing it. And do you know the band 21 Pilots?
Yes, yes, of
Yeah.
course.
So when Blurry Face was out, Josh, the drummer, he always wore red eyeshadow or red cream
Yeah.
or whatever. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear this, but it's red, and it's smeared. But then I was like, oh, this is art. This is.
Art.
So I went out, and my mom looked at me and said, Sarah, what are you doing? I was like, I'm wearing like Josh. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. See the power artists have to
Yes,
influence others. There's a
exactly.
responsibility.
Exactly. You have a responsibility. And he's a guy, and I'm okay. Next question. Name three of your cousins.
Lauren, Bree, Sheridan.
All right. You got that quick because you just mentioned their first name.
Yes.
Okay, the last question. Let me restart the time. Okay. Name three things you do when people aren't looking.
Cry, sleep, eat.
Okay. You got two things, cry and sleep. Why do people look at you?
But you can only, I only cry in private.
There are
I'm
some
not a
people.
pretty crier.
I think very few people who look pretty when they cry.
Yeah, that's true.
Majority of people don't. Everyone just looks ugly.
That's true. That's true. Well, most people would say they like sing when no one's there watching or listening, but I do that for my job. So there's very few things I will not do in public.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cassidy. That's the end of our talk. Thank you for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Sarah.
Serentak, serentak, siap, siap, merentak, rentak, hey. Serentak, serentak, siap, siap, merentak, rentak, hey. Semua serentak, rentak, semua bersorak, sorak, semua bergerak, gerak, sama serentak. Anak pemuda, anak pemudi, bersukaria sambil menari. Mengikut kendahan model sekarang. Langkah cepat-cepat, jangan terlambat. Dengar itu lagu irama baru. Oh, kaki diayunkan, berpegang tangan. Serentak, serentak, siap, siap, merentak, rentak, hey. Serentak, serentak, siap, siap, merentak, rentak, hey. Semua serentak, rentak, semua bersorak, sorak, semua bergerak, gerak, sama serentak. Cik adik, cik abang, jangan malu, mari datang. Jangan ragu, senyum-senyum, rentaklah nafas baru. Jom, hari yang pincang, telang batian.